Welcome back, everyone, to Belladonna, where I'm presuming we're playing Belladonna, but technically we don't know who we are. But we are this lovely woman here who woke up on a stretcher in the basement, and she kind of looks like someone has been experimenting with her. So she could be, sort of a zombie or whatever you want to call it. Screwdriver, bone saw, and we have some gears. I'm sorry. 2 gears and 1 cogwheel. And we have a journal here where we're reading, right now we found 4 pages or whatever. We're reading about this doctor who lives in this castle his son died and his wife was completely crushed by it, Belladonna, his wife. And he experimented with bringing creatures back to life after death. Yeah, sort of, Frankenstein stuff. So he was down in the basement all the time, apparently, and Belladonna, his wife, was in the castle, and they didn't... More and more that he was just down in the basement doing his experiments, and he has this idea stuck in his head that Belladonna is seeing someone else, and now that idea has transformed from seeing a man to seeing another woman. So we'll see how that works out in the journals there. But we want to go out through this exit, but we have these gears, so we'll put them in and see what happens.
Not yet.
Oh, you have to put them in the right order. That's what this meant. The right order of things. Okay, here. Ooh. Secret exit. Oh, it was a bookshelf-ish thing. Okay, cool. Now we're here. Candlestick.
A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be 2 of them. A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be 2 of them.
Alright.
It's a mortar. And a pestle, too. They seem to belong here, but I'll remember where they are in case I need them another time.
Okay. Ooh, journal page.
The doctor is losing it. He's just scribbling down nonsense by now. What will he do if he ever acts on his wild suspicions?
Wolfram von Trauerschloss. It is clear to me what I must do. I am now convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that my wife is unfaithful. They still hide it very well, her and that housemaid, but my logical mind tells there can be no other way. For countless hours I have pondered the situation, and the more I think about it, the more certain I become that my judgment is correct. These countless hours are hours I could have spent thinking about my work. It is clear to me that I will never be able to fully concentrate on the puzzles at hand as long as my thoughts keep creeping back to my wife and her new lover, and that this is the very reason my research is progressing at such an agonizingly slow pace. So, it is clear to me what I must do. Belladonna herself is the person I want back into my life, so I cannot punish her. That leaves her lover, the young maid. She is important, and it is she that must go. I could fire her and throw her out of the household, but I fear this would not resolve anything. The 2 of them would still know of each other, and they could write secret forbidden letters or meet up at secluded rendezvous. No, it is clear to me what I must do. I must get rid of the maid for good. A plan is already taking form in my head. In the greenhouse out back, I keep a lot of plants and herbs. One of the specimens I have is called Deadly Nightshade. An interesting plant with many medical uses, but its renown comes from the fact that its extract is quite lethal already at very small doses. Preparing a powder Preparing a powder from this poisonous plant is not at all problematic. Getting the victim to ingest the dose will be a challenge, but I expect to have ample opportunity. They are not aware I know the truth, and thus suspect nothing. The maid will fall ill, and within a short time she will die of seemingly natural causes. No one will be the wiser concerning the true circumstances of her demise. Deadly Nightshade is merely the common name for this plant. Its scientific name is Atropa belladonna. The symmetry strikes me as beautiful. The poor girl stayed too close to the belladonna, and that would be the death of her. So that was number 4 there. Yeah, he's totally losing it.
The label says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once. The label says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once.
Sometimes she says different things second time you click things, so that's why I do it.
It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is. It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
Alright. More exits. More journal pages.
This story is so sad. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
I want. My wife took the wayward maid's death harder than I had expected, further confirming my suspicions that they were indeed having a secretive love affair. She is passionate and irrational, raging all day and crying all night. Where a few months ago the cold shroud of silence lay over her house, now there's the wailing shrieks of bedlam. One should think that she would be used to dealing with the grief of lost loved ones by now. However, in all sincerity, I don't believe she was ever as affected by the death of our only son as I was. I also suspect that she might have guessed I had something to do with her lover's demise. If she wouldn't talk to me before, now she yells and barks at my every movement. I hardly leave my laboratory these days. I even have a small bed down here, where I sleep a few hours when I'm not working. All the while she prowls around upstairs like a hungry tiger and attacks me over futile nitpicks as soon as I poke my head out. What happened to the love we shared when we married? We were going to live together in her inherited castle. We were going to have children together. Now all I get is abuse and a cold bed in the basement. All I want is for things to go back to the way they were before all this. Well, you're not making it easy, dude. Oh yeah, so they're going totally like this. So we started with this one. It was interesting.
A beautiful china bowl. It looks hand painted.
Ooh, we have it. Oh yeah, we have a bone saw and a screwdriver still. Oh yeah.
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss. This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son.
Aww.
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss. This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son.
Oh wow, they have a little, like, altar to... He's not even, like... Yeah, there's a little altar for him. Alright. Exit.
A dead body.
Whoa. Okay. What the...
It's the body of Dr. von Trauerschloss. He's dead. And what's more, he's been murdered. But who could have done this? There must be some clues around.
Whoa. Okay. I don't know what I expected, but definitely not this.
The body is still warm. He cannot have been dead for much longer than I have been alive. Did he have to die for me to live?
Good question.
The missing candlestick. And it seems to be the murder weapon.
Oh, good. Pick it up. Take it with you.
Blood is flowing from a wound in his skull. I wonder if he was alive when he was killed, or if he was just a mechanical cadaver like me. There is no clockwork or artificial parts that I can see. But how can you tell?
True.
There's something in his pocket.
Oh god, the drama of the sound effects. I thought someone was gonna knock us down.
It's a small, delicate key. He kept it in the pocket closest to his heart. I wonder what it unlocks.
Alright, we'll take it.
The back of his head has been cracked open by a heavy blow. He couldn't have seen the attack coming. He was dead before he knew what happened. So, he trusted his assailant then? Was it me? I have no memories from my life before. Maybe it was I who killed him. But then, how was I brought back?
This is getting crazy.
These are the hands that give life. Talk about meeting your maker.
True.
There's a letter clutched in his hand. His final words? Or a clue left by the killer.
Over the course of a sleepless night, I have thought through my next course of action from every possible angle. for it is indeed time for me to take action again. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see little chance of getting my old Belladonna back. If anything, she is worse now than ever before. But I have an idea. One that kept me awake all night. I've come very far in my research by now. I can now fairly predictably create living creatures that are stable enough not spontaneously die again, and I have experimented with many different species of animal. I have noticed something strange though. The returned creations seem strangely vacant and sluggish. It is as if, although the body is brought back to life, the soul is forever lost. The creation is perfectly functional and responds to stimuli, just as if it was truly alive, but the mysterious spark of will seems to be missing. I know no other way to describe the phenomenon. This bothered me before, but now I cannot help to think that this might suit my needs. Isn't it exactly the strong will of my wife that is causing all my problems? There's no need to be poetic with flowers this time. I am in no short supply of poisonous substances in the laboratory, and poison suits my needs well as it leaves no physical trauma on the body. I will still need to make incisions in the corpse to replace internal organs with clockwork parts, but stitching together surgical cuts is much simpler than trying to repair unhealed bodily damage. The integrity of her visage is a priority. To extinguish Belladonna's current life and give her a new one, to bring her body and mind back, minus soul and free will, a beautiful, obedient automaton, a mechanical doll with all the functionality of a human being, but who is responsive and does what she's told. That, my dear future reader, would truly be something. I think it is high time I tried my revivification process on a human subject. That was that one. And this one that we found first is Belladonna is dead and he fixed her and she came alive. Alright, so when I tried to go out of the journal there, the game crashed, which was interesting. Okay, so if I go out now. Okay, cool. So I don't know why the game completely just whatever, did something, but okay, we're back. So that's the body. Here's another journal page. Let's read some more.
This letter is signed Belladonna. I've been waiting to hear the other side of this story.
Yes, please, Belladonna von Trauerschloss. It's the first. Oh, these are Belladonnas. These here are Belladonnas. Okay, I totally want to read hers. Okay, awesome. Wait a second. No, nothing. Okay. This seems like the music is very loud, but okay. If you'd asked me just a few years ago about my future, I could never have fathomed my life today would be as it is. So strange a path has the twists of fate set me upon. I wake each morning bewildered, and like a small child, expecting anything and everything to happen during the day. The night my planned future snapped out of joint and took a whole new direction was the night when my son Lucas died. I married Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss in the spring, and we loved each other deeply back then. How young we were. He was an educated gentleman from the University of Ingolstadt, and though I had first assumed we would get a flat in Vienna, he convinced me we should live in my family's old castle and accept our roles as old-fashioned nobility to the little village down the hill. We moved into the castle with a staff of 30 servants, beginning the task of breathing life and joy into the majestic halls. At this time, I expected to live out my life as a lady of the household, minding the servants, and, indeed, raising children. Before long, our first son was born, Lucas, and shortly after that, he once again departed. I was devastated, of course, but Lucas had been sickly from his first day, and even though my husband had blocked out the possibility from his mind, I was not entirely surprised when it happened. Nonetheless, it changed us. I believe Wolfram blames me for what happened, that he thinks it was somehow my fault. He retreated into his laboratory in the old dungeon and started doing unholy experiments and God knows what. Those were dark times. Instead of a household and a child to take care of, I now had no guests, practically no husband, and no child. Everything I thought would occupy my time was gone, and all I could do was grieve in solitude. The castle staff left one by one, until there were only a handful left. My existence was meaningless, and I spent my days doing nothing. But I dealt with my grief in my own way, and in time the claws of melancholy began loosening their grip on me. In so many ways, I have Clara to thank for that. Alright, is it just me or is the music really loud? We'll see how it goes. Okay, there's backyard, living room, study, gargoyles.
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Yosef. In that order.
Wait, what?
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Yosef. In that order.
Are those names random, or are they from something? I'm not sure. Grandfather clock.
It's an old clock. Tick tock, tick tock. It's an old clock. Tick tock, tick tock.
Yes. Alright, let's go to the living room maybe? Oh. That was very white.
This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens when you're down to a skeleton crew of only one maid, no matter how fantastic she is. This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens when you're down to a skeleton crew of only one maid, no matter how fantastic she is. It's snowing outside. I have no concept of the current year, season, or even geographical location. Another journal page.
With blood.
This one has drops of blood on it.
I, Belladonna, must think, remember, hands, fingers, write words. Words, hate. Oh dear. Okay, that's way down here. Alright, so things have happened here. And here, we're down to hate. Right. That seems good. To the study. Oh. Okay, books.
That's a lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large.
I love you.
That's a lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large.
That's such a great thing to walk around and think about. I love it. Ooh, hey, Raven.
A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin. A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin. Look, a perfect sphere. Let's see if I can get two parallel lines to intersect. Look, a perfect sphere. Let's see if I can get two parallel lines to intersect.
Should they do that on a perfect sphere? My math is gone. I guess they would,
The doctor's handwriting. I know it well by now.
Ooh, it's his last journal page? Months have passed, and I must indeed conclude that the procedure was a success. The new Belladonna is certainly calmer, friendlier, and more docile. She gladly keeps me company in the laboratory nowadays, and she is polite and pleasant in everything she does. One is tempted to describe her demeanor as lobotomized, but no. When I ask her questions, she will answer in a clear and articulated voice, and she's responsive to all kinds of stimuli. Verily, I've gotten all I could ask for. The troublesome maid is gone, and Belladonna is back with me, compliant as ever. Her behavior is exemplary. Our lives are returning to that idyllic past I had thought lost. In all aspects except one. No child giggles in these halls. But my research is proceeding rapidly, and the question presents itself. Who needs a womb to create life? I have made an unexpected observation. A side effect of the unliving condition. The household cat, a black beast and once Belladonna's loving pet, has gained a great mistrust for the latter's new form. A great disquiet has fallen over the animal, and he will not go near the creation. Why is this, I wonder? Why this lack of trust, this sudden and ferocious hatred? Belladonna's appearance seems to me not much unlike that what the cat before so fondly gravitated towards. But evidently the beast perceives a difference. As a species, the cats have popularly been associated with witchcraft and mysticism. Their eyes do indeed strike one as remarkable. Is it perchance so that the feline oculus is capable of peering into human soul and spirit, and so, when faced with the created Belladonna, is distressed by the lack thereof? Alright, so we have all of Wolfram's journal pages, which is cool. Ooh, typewriter.
I should sit down and write a story. But with all these journals and diary pages lying around, seems like I already may have.
That is true. Ooh, toy collection.
Look at all these old toys. Wind-up dolls, music boxes, and mechanical trains all around. I think this used to be a private hobby of the eccentric Dr. Wolfram's, before he got into the whole corpse business.
Haha.
Another portrait. It says her name is Franziska Canosa, an old relative, no doubt. But I wonder how she relates to the von Trauerschloss family.
Yeah, it was like, that cannot be Belladonna, can it? Oh!
I'm not going near that horrible cat.
Oh my gosh, it's
I'll
the
have to get rid of
cat.
it somehow if I want to proceed.
It's the cat. Look at that long tail, though. Journal page. Aw, kitty cat, have a bowl.
That makes no sense.
What? Of course it does. Screwdriver.
Nothing happens.
Screwdriver always makes sense. Come on, everyone knows screwdriver always makes sense. Alright. Guess we'll have to find milk or something. Backyard. Ooh. I did not think it would be open. Ooh, milk. Hello.
There's a bottle of milk out here. I wonder how long it's been here. At any rate, it's frozen completely solid. No wonder in this cold.
Well, we have a fire inside, so, you know, whatever. And more journal page. Let's read it, and then we'll take a break for this episode.
One more Belladonna letter. Let's read about this Clara figure.
Alright. It's the second one. Okay. Clara Steiber was one of the several chambermaids we hired when we moved into the castle shortly after the marriage. In the warm light of recent events, I feel as though I could pick her out of a crowd already at this time. But I suspect that the truth is that she was just another servant, one of many, and I didn't pay her close to the attention I now know she deserves. The period following the death of Lucas is hazy and unclear in my memory. I know I spent most of my time in an armchair in the living room, staring out the window. I know now that this must have been a difficult time for the staff as well. My apathy left them without purpose, as more and more of the household was shut down. Soon the cooks and stable grooms began abandoning what they wisely identified as a sinking ship. As more and more of the staff left the castle to seek employment elsewhere, there was less and less reason for the rest to stay, and the household was quickly decimated. But throughout all of this, young Clara never left my side, and she gradually shouldered more and more of the household responsibilities, making it her task to take care of me and nurse me through my melancholy. It was her loyalty and industriousness, when everyone else left, that finally brought me back from my condition. And, indeed, her love. As I now sit down to write, it has been a long, unbroken chain of happy days. Clara and I have the whole castle practically to ourselves, and nothing to do but to enjoy our lives and each other. We sleep in the same room every night, cook our own food, and have picnics under tables or in front of the fireplace. We have no incentive whatsoever to uphold conventions and norms when this house has become like a secure bubble inside the rest of reality. In truth, this touches on what I treasure most in Clara. Neither of us reaps any concrete benefits from our union, neither financial nor societal. There is no embedded purpose of producing heirs. Our relationship exists only for itself, and is its own reward. I am already adapting her adorable habit of naming inanimate objects. Oh, okay. The castle is not quite ours, however. Wolfram still lurks like a ghoul, presumably, downstairs, and occasionally emerges and spends a night up here with me. We have little in common anymore. In fact, he is like a completely new person. His mind is vacant, his stare distant. He's thinner than ever before and shivers with cold. Clara, jokingly, suggested that we might have him declared mad and sent off to an institution. An innocent idea in her mind, but with some planning, this act might eventually prove to be our surest path to finally reclaiming this old castle for us alone. Ooh. Alright, and with that, we will say goodbye for this episode, and we'll play more Belladonna real soon. I want to know what happens. What? Alright. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see ya.